Story for another time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Calamity Week 6 game, this time between DEIFY and UXCAN. We've got a couple good games coming up here this time, but we are starting back on steps, something we did see yesterday.
Very popular map lately.
Very popular map. No one really chooses to ban it, I guess, because it's a fairly even map. A lot of teams have pretty decent strats with it. However, last time we didn't see any light tanks come out on either side. So curious to see if that's going to be something that holds true to this game or if we're going to go a different direction.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really don't know if I've ever seen steps being a commonly banned map outside of when the A1 climb was really popular. Maybe
Yeah,
popular
I mean,
was the wrong word for that. It essentially existed for one tournament.
but it was very popular during that tournament, to be fair. I'll give you that one.
Among your team, actually.
Yeah, funny enough, yeah. We were known climbers. It is what it is. We did what we could. I am interested to see if, because I haven't actually seen DEIFY play either. I have seen UXCAN play a little bit, and I have played against them, and they're actually pretty good. They're not super rushy team. They're kind of another sit back team. But DEIFY, I have no idea what they're gonna do. They have quite the representation in this game as well, with 12 people showing up.
Yeah, I'm curious how much they're going to be able to rotate in a lot of these guys, and maybe it'd give them the ability to do something like a more medium heavy and then swap to be more of a meatball lineup after that, you know, give them a lot of flexibility.
Oh, actually, stand corrected. They've showed up with 13 people.
Even better.
Or maybe he just left and went over to the other side. Looks like they've swapped one of the DEIFY players on my team with Hesh, which is a very funny name. But I don't know if he's a part of the roster.
If he plays anything other than a Death Star, then I won't be happy.
UXCAN said they have one more loading up. So as soon as they get that final guy in here, we will be good to go. They'll start picking tanks. So just to run through it, we have two map bans. We've got Cliff and Westfield banned this time around. As we saw last night, those were two of the maps that they chose to play. So now we're going to see two new ones potentially, Sand River and Ghost Town. And for the tank bans, we've got the Marat and the Stritzfon 103B. Now, I mean, we saw how devastating Marats can be in a pack, right? Catching somebody off guard. So I think that's a pretty smart ban. A lot of teams play them. A lot of teams will play up to 3 of them. And in a group, they are quite dangerous to run into.
I'll be really interested to see kind of how Sand River has changed since, you know, we were playing it regularly. Especially with a lot of these weird tournament rules. It's going to be, and as well as the DPM changes, it should be essentially a new map at this point.
You're going to love to hear this. First tank selected from UXCAN is indeed a T100 LT.
It warms my cold, cold heart to see it.
I know, this is the first light tank we've seen on steps in a while. But I do like to see it. And I think Little Bear is their traditional light player. I think I see him play the light 90, if not 100% of the time. So,
talking about tanks that warm my heart to see, the Kronvon actually getting some competitive play is going to be another interesting one to throw in the mix.
Yeah, I've seen the Kronvon come out a couple of times, but it is more of a rare pick, especially, I don't think I've seen it on this map before, but I am excited to see what he's going to do with it. MBTB, also CS. I like that these teams are playing a little bit different. They're going a little bit against they're kind of playing around the realm of standard play, but mixing in a couple of tanks that you don't usually see on the most traditional strats, so always makes for more interesting games.
It's just interesting that they went with the CS63 and the Leopard 1 over a bat chat. I'm curious to see if they're going to weave one of those in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, most traditionally, we've seen the bat chats, right? Like, at least 2 of them, flex one out, try to get some vision, play it like a light tank, and then come in with that clip potential. But I guess they're just really wanting to avoid the clipping part there. Oh, but they do end up bringing one out, actually. So instead of doing a pack kind of mentality with the bat chats, they've chosen to just take a single shot instead of a second one.
If you're going to send somebody kind of out on an island by themselves, it's always better to have that single shotgun, just so that you're not going to be held into a corner. Because with that bat chat, you're going to dump a clip and get somebody down to what, 1-2 shot, and then you're essentially just going to go down before you get another reload off. Whereas with the single shotgun, you can kind of be a little bit more flexible and fight for your life a little bit more effectively. So it's interesting to see a mix of the two. Usually you kind of lean one way or another.
Yeah, and I've noticed that since the Stritzvon's banned, it looks like Crazy Mage is going to play the Grill 15, which getting smacked by that thing is never a fun day. Not quite as bad as like a YAG or FV, but a 155 millimeter cannon, that's not a good one to get smacked by, so.
Heat on this map just really does some damage as well. It should do very well.
Yeah, this is going to be... I don't know how it's going to go for DeFi with their tank picks. I'm really curious to see how that is going to play out.
I'm guessing they're going to be running that Leopard 1 in place of a traditional tank destroyer, because it does kind of play more like a tank destroyer than it does a medium.
That is true. That is true. It has wonderful premium APCR rounds as well. Like, that thing is broken. I mean, I love the shells on it. I prefer that it doesn't have heat because the velocity on it is insane. It's basically a laser. Whatever you're going to point at, you're pretty much going to hit. No guarantees on penetrating it, but you will hit it, probably.
Great gun handling, great accuracy, great moving accuracy. I mean, just overall, it's just a solid tank.
It is. It is. Good DPM. In the right hands, it's a skilled tank. And the camo's really not that bad. Like, you can get in some spots, stay unspotted, put in some hurt in there, which we may see you do.
Trash on DeFi a minute ago for not running, more than one bat chat, but it appears that's the only bat chat that's going to be in this game.
It appears so. And that looks like all 7 tanks picked up, so I believe we are about to head on into game 1 in just a few moments.
I don't know if you noticed it earlier, but that T100 did get unselected, so it doesn't appear there's going to be
you're so correct. I did miss that. That is very devastating to me. Yeah, I think we may see another steps with no light tank. So would you say that you are a big fan of the new meta of no light tank, or would you prefer to have... Okay. Yeah, I figured that was going to be the answer.
I mean, I'm definitely biased because I was the one that ran the light kind of towards the end of my career. And so I definitely understand kind of the use in having it, especially from a caller's perspective. It's so hard on this map to really know where they're going to be pushing. It's so easy to get over matches on this map.
That is true. Yep. Vision is everything on a map like this, and without a light tank to really get out there and get that vision, it's a little difficult. All right, we're heading on into round number 1 on steps. If you want to go ahead and just read off the tanks on the DeFi side, I'll go ahead and text you UXCAN after that.
Yeah, we got Lil Skrilla in the Chieftain Mark 6, Proximate Gull in the MBTB, Bacon PD in the IS-7 along with the M14 Pro, Hesh in the Batchat 25 ton, the Red Rebel Leader in the Leopard 1, and Itchy Richard in the CS63.
And on the side of UXCAN, we've got a Valor, 3 IS-7s, a CS63, a T95 E6, and a Grill 15.
It appears that they already know what's coming on the DeFi side. I mean, you're able to see how aggressively pushing out this IS-7 using the CS63 for horsepower. The only thing that I'd be really concerned about is, are they going to essentially overextend that Leopard 1 and get caught out, kind of like what we've seen in the past with a couple teams running into issues with?
I do like that they're getting that IS-7 pushed out there. However, he did get spotted, so they are aware that the IS-7... I'm certain they're aware the IS-7 just got boosted at that point. There's not really a way that he would be there at that specific time without getting a boost, so hopefully they realize that there are a couple more tanks over there supporting him.
Looks like we got a all gas, no brakes mentality going right now that they got that Grill 15 installed.
We do, yeah. I mean, they are pushing it up, and Bacon PD over here is going to be out of the fight, and so is Hesh for at least a little while if they do end up pushing this, which the IS-7s are now playing more aggressive, do get spotted, and are now going to try to face off with the other IS-7. Just depends on how long they sit there and wait, which it looks like is going to be no time at all. They're going straight on in.
Interesting with them kind of staggering their push a little bit here. I guess for camouflage reasons, that's going to be beneficial. M14 Pro appears to be in kind of a nasty little position. They're actually having to commit relatively decent resources
that's
to be
a
able to
tough
get them
position
out.
to get him out of. Yeah, and now they're bleeding heavy. Houndstooth already almost down to a one-shot, and they haven't even got M14 Pro down to a two-hit yet.
Tank already, and they got
wow, and now Tolliver
down to 600.
Tolliver is down to a two-hit, and Odixis is getting down too. Now Tolliver down to a one-shot. Still trying to get M14 Pro out of that position, but it's just not going to be worth it.
Down 2 IS-7s at this point.
Down 3. M14 Pro still alive, survived the 3 IS-7 push with relative ease with support from his teammates. And now DEIFY is completely stacked up, and UXCAN's going to have a really hard time rotating out of here.
I mean, I've only seen, what, 1 grill shot connect here? So, I mean, it's just been such a deep push in order to get anything done. So, this is going to be a hard one to really dig themselves out of. Very even on hit points.
I would actually say that this is heavy in DEIFY's favor, especially now that they're getting this up close position and pushing this Valor out, which is going to cost Harley Quinn
that is
their life
going to be getting nearing the game right there.
Now we've got the Grill 15 who does get spotted. He's going to be next. And instantly deleted. Wound to 93 hit points in just a second. There goes the Grill 15. Now we just have this poor CS63 who's about to get shot by 5 of DEIFY's tanks, if not maybe just 4. It looks like the Batch is deciding to head towards the T95 E6, played by King Lou. And there goes the CS63, and now the cleanup from Hesh. If he can get a full magazine over here into King Lou, maybe with a little bit of support from his teammates.
See if they respect the 1v1 today. So far, it appears they are. Let's see how long that will last. It looks like they're coming in to spectate. Surely they're not going to shoot him as well.
I believe this may be a ram kill, possibly, from Red Rebel Leader. He did try to track him, and the CS63 takes it last second, so he can't get the ram kill. All right, let's head over to the battle results. If you want to go ahead and read down the DEIFY side.
Yes, I will. So on the DEIFY side, we have Red Rebel Leader in that Leopard 1 with 2 kills and 3,400 damage. Proximate Gull in the MBTB with no kills and 2,600 damage. Hesh in the Batch at 25 ton with a kill and 2,000 damage. Itchy Richard in the CS63 with 2 kills and 2,000 damage as well. M14 Pro in the IS-7 with 1,900 damage. Bacon PD in the IS-7 with 1,800 damage, sorry. Lil Skrilla 1 in the Chieftain Mark 6 with 2 kills and 1,600 damage.
And on the side of UXCAN, we've got King Lou in the T95 E6, 0 kills, 2,128 damage. Tolliver in the IS-7, 0 kills, 1,832 damage. Crazy Mage in the Grill 15, 0 kills, 1,553 damage. Lil Bear in the CS63, 1 kill, 1,512 damage. And we've got Harley Quinn in the Valor, 0 kills, 0 damage. Odixis in the IS-7, 0 kills, 0 damage. And Houndstooth in the IS-7, 0 kills, 0 damage. Now, I will say, what a bad situation for those IS-7s that tried to push M17 out.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the stats really quickly, he blocked 3,600 damage, receiving 15 shots that game. He did go down, but man, it was just way too late for him to be able to bleed out there.
Yeah, losing those IS-7s so early in that push, having the staggered push there with no support from the back team, including the Grill 15, really cost UXCAN on that push. I think if they would have stacked up a little bit better, maybe pushed out a little harder, taken the lower bowl, Maybe a different outcome would have came out of it because the IS-7 and the Batchat wouldn't have had time to rotate, but M17, wonderful positioning, wonderful job. Or sorry, M14, not M17. M14, wonderful job, wonderful positioning, delayed the push until the IS-7 and Batchat were able to make it back, and they got a full 7 tanks defending the correct base.
I mean, we kind of saw from the get-go there. I mean, they knew what was coming, right? I mean, you see 3 IS-7s load up. I mean, there's not a lot you can do, right?
Yeah, and I think them spotting the IS-7 so far out so fast, they probably had an idea that he wasn't alone, right? He was probably getting boosted. IS-7s don't really move that fast on their own. So, kind of a difficult position once he got spotted so early on.
They were installing that IS-7 deep within the Northern Territory using that CS-63, I mean, basically immediately. So I'm wanting to say that was almost like a counter strat just based on what they were seeing at the time.
I would say probably so, yeah. They may have spotted that IS-7 out and said, hey, go to this position, hold up as long as you can, and it worked. M14 did a wonderful job. His whole job was to just sit there and prevent the push from being completed, and he did a great job. No complaints there for his performance.
Like a 705A or something like that would do there.
I do wonder the same thing. I will say the IS-7 is, for me at least, more consistently good in positions like that, just because it does have, you know, the trolley armor, the ability to pump out those rounds a little more often. But I could see a 705 work. It may, the issue may be 705 is significantly slower. May have trouble getting there if they do an early push like that.
Possibly, yeah.
Could be one downside to it. But we're getting tanks picked for the second side, this time UXCAN on defense. And it looks like they are going to go more traditional. However, 2 CS-63s coming out on the side of UXCAN so far.
It's very interesting seeing them kind of run packs of CS-63s. I wonder if they're going to try and do another push or boost similar to what they were doing earlier with that IS-7 to be able to get an early rotate.
I do wonder the same thing.
I mean, realistically speaking, I mean, what's the advantage running 2 CSs versus 2 Batchats? I mean, I understand the single shotgun of the CS over a single Batchat, but whenever you're running in packs, man, a 3,600 damage clip is just devastating no matter what you run across.
Truly, yeah, truly. Well, it looks like DEIFY is up to a total of 13 people in the lobby. Plenty of people to choose from, and they have chosen to play the T100 LT. Little Skrilla pulling that out for that team.
We'll see if he maintains this time.
That is true. That is true. I think they knew that you were wanting it, and they gave you a little tease and then pulled it off last round. This time, hopefully it does stick, though. UXCAN opting to also pull in that Object 2685 on defense. I think it's got a real nasty gun if you get hit by it, too.
Man, that was a monster. I think that was kind of the beginning of the end, right, of the tier 10 premiums. It felt like that tank was kind of the start of the tier 10 premiums being an absolute mandatory in comp. Because what did you have before that? The 7201, and it was okay. Like, you saw it in some instances, particularly on Ghost Town. And then you also see the M60 at times as kind of that pseudo tank destroyer role with that 350 heat round. But I mean, outside of that, you really didn't get a lot of premium play before that 2685.
Yeah, I think the tank that's a little, if I'm not mistaken, a little more broken than the 2685 is the Tehran. The Tehran is insane from what I remember. That thing is absolutely busted. I think they ban it from most tournaments, or maybe it got nerfed or shadow nerfed and everything else got buffed. Either way, I remember that thing being quite good. So I am curious how it would stack up against a 2685. But it looks like we've got all the tanks.
60. That's a new one for me.
It's a pretty decent tank, actually. It's pretty good. Not a really traditional tank destroyer. Closer to like maybe like a TD heavy / medium, but it's actually pretty good. Another 2685 coming out from Hesh instead of the AAT-50. And we're on to round number 2 on steps. You want to go ahead and go down those DEIFY tanks?
I will indeed. So we got Tyrant Sick in the Chieftain Mark 6, M14 Pro in the IS-7, Red Rebel Leader in the Leopard 1, Bacon PD in the CS-63, along with Itchy Richard, Lil Skrilla in the T100 LT, and Hesh in the 2685.
And on the side of UXCAN, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, a Super Conqueror, a Valor, an IS-7, 2 CS-63s, and an Object 2685. I do like that UXCAN's getting real pushy with those CSs immediately. They're going to try to get those spots out, see what they're doing. However, unlike UXCAN's play, DEIFY is not making the same move. And are instead opting to play the ABC line, which may pay off for them. It's a little bit different.
Ooh, I actually like. Have you seen this position that Red Rebel Leader and Itchy Richard are playing in their medium tanks down here, kind of in the G3-4 area?
Oh, the rock there? Yeah.
That's a nice position there. I don't know if I've really ever used that outside of kind of doing weird stuff in a light tank.
That is a great position, and it looks like the light tank is already putting base pressure on. That will alert UXCAN to what they're doing. They were set up more towards an 890 push. Now they're rotating out back to A. Try to get a little bit of vision over here. However,
already blind firing the bush here.
I don't think Lil Skrilla is going to get hit for at least a little while. Oh, he does, though, actually. Great shot there. I'm not sure who put that one in. Maybe Harley Quinn? Or was it I think it might have been the Super Conqueror. I think it might have been Sneepery.
Oh, no, and he's going into the second most blind-fired position now.
That is true. Yep, he is. Oh, just gets out of base. Loses a couple of seconds there. That's not great. Tyrant Sick is going to play a little more aggressive here. He's going to try to stop them from peeking up for free, get a little bit of an angle on the side of their turrets, which I do like.
I don't know if you've ever played that kind of Alpha 2 position in a heavy tank like an IS-7 or something like that, but that is a very powerful position to be able to keep people lit, especially for a big TD like that 2685.
It is indeed. Uh-oh, Hesh managed to put a great shot into the Super Conqueror played by Sneepery. That is what we like to see. Gets him down to 1,576 hit points, which that will come in handy later. Hopefully this...
Really
268.
Curious what...
Ooh, big push coming out from the CS-63s, taking down King Lou.
They
Now
need
Lil
to be
Bear...
able to win this kind of 2v2 if they're going to have a chance of capping out.
Lil Bear's not going to stand a chance here. They're way too healthy.
2v3, sorry.
Yeah, 2v3, and Lil Bear is going to go down without taking a single one out. Great pickoff by DEIFY. They saw it, and they were able to capitalize on it. Now we have Odixus coming in his IS-7, but he's kind of cornered now. Good side shots from the mediums. He's going to have to make a move at some point.
And it looks like they're clueless to the CS-63 about to poke up through the mid.
Good ammo racking shot. Not sure if he's already burned his repair kit or not. We're going to find out in just a second. And he gets bled almost instantly. Look at that. Down to a one-shot, 48 hit points. Going to go down. It looks like he did get ammo racked, I believe, and was not able to repair it. That is a very long reload time. And he goes down to Bacon PD.
I mean, this really is just domineering map control that UXCAN... Or, sorry, DEIFY has here.
Looks like the CS-63, played by Itchy Richard, does go down in mid. However, I believe it's looking like too little too late as they are down almost 7,000 hit points. And they're also down 2 tanks. Map control is looking a little glim. Red Rebel Leader is contesting significant portion of the map that they would be able to play there. And Sneepery is down to a one-shot.
I'd be very interested to see kind of how much Houndstooth was able to do this game. Just because having a TD that's kind of...
Oh, big hits on the Chieftain Mark 6. He goes down almost instantly, trying to cross over field towards the Leopard 1. Get a little bit more map control going, but not able to.
I believe we could probably call this a game at this point.
I think this is indeed game over for UXCAN on round 2. We'll see how they end up playing on the other maps, which we have Sand River coming up next. Tyrant going to try to push out Harley Quinn here. Houndstooth down to a one-shot. We are going to see a 1v1 come out here, potentially, between Harley Quinn and Tyrant Sick. Now they're actually evened up on hit points. This would be a great 1v1, but the base gets captured first.
People never respect the 1v1 in comp for some reason.
I know, man, I know. Good second game from DEIFY. Let's run down the scoreboard real quick. You want to go ahead and go down that lineup?
Yeah, so we got Hesh in the 2685 with a kill and 5,300 damage. That's a powerful game in that 2685 on their part. Really being able to fully utilize the spotting that their forward heavies were getting. Red Rebel leader in the Leopard 1 with a kill and 2,700 damage. Bacon PD in the CS63 with a kill and 2,100 damage. Tyrant Sick in the Chieftain Mark 6 with 2,100 damage as well. Itchy Richard in the CS63 with a kill and 1,600 damage. M14 Pro in the IS7 with 1 kill and 300 damage, and Lil Skrilla in the T100 being held out.
And on the side of UXCAN, we've got Lil Bear in the CS63, 0 kills, 1,409 damage. Houndstooth in the Object 2685, 0 kills, 1,270 damage. Harley Quinn in the Valor, 0 kills, 970 damage. King Lou in the CS63, 0 kills, 940 damage. Tolliver in the Chieftain Mark 6, 0 kills, 513 damage. Odixas in the IS7, 0 kills, 456 damage. And Sneepery in the Super Conqueror, 1 kill, 240 damage. Yeah, UXCAN was really just not able to get much going. I think they were set up so north into like a northeastern push. They were expecting the 890 kind of line to be taken advantage of. However, DEIFY opted to go in towards the ABC line. Made them rotate and made them pay for it. Now we're going to lock into Sand River.
Those were a couple really weird games, weren't they? I mean, that not really a... I'd say the offense ran by the DEIFY side was pretty traditional, but as far as the way that the majority of that game was played anyway, it was not a particularly traditional steps offense or defense.
I would say, yeah, it was definitely a little bit off. There were some shadows of what would be considered normal or traditional, but the way it ended up playing out most of those games, definitely not the usual, which is what I enjoy seeing. I love seeing a little bit of difference come up, but nevertheless, some pretty solid games. And DEIFY, so far, looking fairly dominant with their positioning.
Oh, there's a tank that we haven't seen in them. I don't think in any of the games that we've commentated, I don't know if we've seen the VZ5 come up.
I don't believe we have. That interesting Czech tank. And I'm curious to see how they're going to use it. It is a very good gun. Curious to see how they're going to utilize that. But so far, DEIFY doing a great job with positioning and with map awareness and control. UXCAN is going to have to try to get something going. And hopefully Lil Bear with that T100 can get a little bit of information. Something that it seems UXCAN's been lacking for the most part. So once UXCAN maybe get some eyes on a couple of tanks, they can readjust and figure out what to do.
Yeah, and man, these are interesting comps for the kind of a Sand River. Not something that I would really expect to see come out.
It does seem like the CS63 is a very popular choice. I would have expected to see some bat chats, really. But CS63 is a very good tank, very capable tank, very quick. And based on the way DEIFY's been playing, DEIFY loves their positioning. So I can see why they'd be running these tanks. I am curious to see what UXCAN's going to do to try to penetrate the defense here that DEIFY is going to set up, because we've seen that they know their map. They're pretty good at setting up. You saw the position from M14 on the first round. You saw the positioning in the second round where they were able to rotate the mediums, take advantage of that overmatch, and really turn the tables quickly. And I'm curious to see how UXCAN plans on turning that around on this map, because Sand River, in a good defense, kind of hard to penetrate and cap a base or get the kills.
Absolutely. It is very defensively oriented on this map, I would say. It's one of the few kind of, I guess, biased maps out of the NBA circuit that's traditionally ran.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of teams recently. They're all going to go like the ABC line. I think the last 2 or 3 games that I've seen covered on Sand River, at least 80% of the time, teams are going north like that. But I am curious to see maybe UXCAN has something else in mind. They did end up bringing a bat chat out, which I do like. So they're going to run 1 CS and 1 bat chat.
I know I was just complaining about kind of lack of light tank coverage, but if you're going with that ABC line, I'd be really bringing that T100. That's just a lot of DPM to leave on the table and a lot of health to leave on the table.
Oh, we've got a Waffle E100 that just got selected, unselected immediately, but it may make an appearance again. And I would be a little overjoyed. And it is going to come out again. We are going to see a Waffle E100 on Sand River on defense.
Oh, for a minute there, I thought he was swapping out his Fosh.
Yeah, I really thought he was too. Because we've seen that happen before where someone will pick a Waffle and then swap it to a Fosh. But I appreciate the fact that he's willing to keep it. I mean, it does have a nasty gun. If you catch somebody with a clip on that thing and even hit, a few of your shells, devastating to hit points. I do like it. I also like the Grill 15. Very good stealthy TD since they banned the Stritzvon. I am curious how they're going to use it on attack. Really hope they're able to get that into position where they can utilize it this time. Last time they picked a Grill on attack, they weren't able to get a lot going with it. They split their tanks up a little bit too much, lost the Grill coverage, and it did kind of cost them. So maybe this time they're going to play in line of sight of the Grill, possibly play up on the north side, maybe around like the C6 corner. Seen people do that before, have the Grill overwatch that. But we'll see. There's no telling. We do have tanks picked up, so I think this game's going to start any second now. I think we're just missing one more from... No, I can't count. We have all 7 on both sides. And here's round number 3. First round of Sand River.
All right. Do you want to take the Defy side this time?
Yeah, I'll take the Defy side. So on Defy, we've got 2 VZ55s. We've got a Chieftain Mark 6. We've got a Valor, an IS-7, a CS-63, and a Waffenträger off E100.
On the UXCAN side, we have Tulliver in the Chieftain Mark 6, Harlequin in the Valor, Houndstooth in the IS-7, King Lou in the Bat Chat, Sneepery in the CS-63, Lil Bear in the T100 LT, and Crazy Mage in the Grill 15.
Immediately, UXCAN going for a south push, straight down the JK line, it looks like. Going to get some vision early with Lil Bear, playing very aggressive in the T100, which I do like. They need that vision. Defy playing pretty heavy on the northern side, which is fairly traditional. I mean, I have seen most teams go north as of recent. And they're just sending the 2 VZ55s to, I believe, that little nested position back here in the back just to try to prevent a quick push to A and just delay as much as they can so their team can rotate. Yep, Lil Skrilla getting that position now. That's a very good position to be in. He's got great vision. And it's really hard to get him out. He knows the light tank is here, or at least one of the mediums. So that's great info. I hear pings going out. He's possibly pinging, saying, hey, somebody's on this side.
Oh, we see M14 already rotating south in that CS-63. I'm curious to see how much they really know of kind of the whereabouts of UXCAN here. Just because, I mean, they never had a light tank spot over that middle ridge, right? So that, to me anyway, would indicate that they're going to be going for that southern push. I mean, even kind of if you're not going to be doing a southern push or northern push, it's just kind of a thing you see every game. So it kind of has alarms go off in your mind whenever you don't see that.
It does look like the light tank and Batchat 25T are going to make a rotation towards mid, maybe try to get a little more vision towards what's on the north side, figure out what's going on. Sneepery is going to play it real slow, real back, which I do like at this moment. It looks like he may be trying to rotate as well. They have got spots on the Valor and maybe the Chieftain there for a second as well, so they do know that tanks are holed up on the hill. watching the B cap as they traditionally are.
Looks like they're just ambiently kind of or shooting down the buildings. Cap as if they're anticipating a south push. Although, I'm looking at it, it's not necessarily the buildings that matter.
Skrilla's still in a good position. I do like that. Looks like Valor does get lit again. He probably knows at least, I would assume he knows one of the mediums or the light is sitting there. Tolliver in a good position in mid. He's got good coverage on his side, so really he only has to worry about the Valor and the Chieftain where they're at. CS63 is going to make a rotation. He's going to join up with the two heavies.
Boy, this is some old timing positioning if I've ever seen it, isn't it?
It is.
Just absolute map control by both sides. Look, a bit of weakness before they take something out.
Yeah, very traditional lineup. Things really haven't changed much versus we used to see, years and years ago. Looks like UXCAN is going to opt to rotate back to north, which kind of seems like DEIFY is ready for that. They did rotate that CS63 back up there. They do still have the VZ55s playing a little to the south, which is expected. They need that coverage. Valor and CS is now lit, so they do know that 3 tanks are on that ridge. Tolliver's still holding position, try to get side shots whenever they do make the push. Punish anything that peeks up.
I feel like that Waffentrager is going to be kind of the canary in the gold mine of when they figure out what's going to be really coming. Once he starts rotating to be able to deal with that north push, that's going to be kind of the point where I think their caller really knows what's happening.
If Tolliver gets lit and he is pushed up past that rock, that Waffle E100 will get a good farm on him.
Harlequin getting spotted.
Oh, that's a really tough spot. That's gonna throw off their whole plan. They're gonna probably see that, maybe rotate one of the VZs up potentially. Not really sure what their plan's gonna be now. They know that there's heavies up here. They know they can't rotate quickly, and they're down to 5 minutes and 28 seconds, so they really don't have a lot of time.
Lots of shots this game for both teams being at full health.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're full 5 minutes in, still both teams full health, playing it slow, just trying to find any kind of positioning they can.
Yeah, it's just hard on these maps like Sand River because, I mean, you push into the wrong thing and you're just go ahead and return to garage before you even die in the game, you know?
I will say UXCAN, even though they are in kind of a tough spot with so little time left, they're going to have to make a move soon. Wish they kind of would have made it sooner so they had a little more time to adjust, but now they pretty much have to stay where they are, pick a spot, and go for it.
I'd be really curious to see how soon they're going to rotate that waffle to be able to get in the fight, or whether that's push them a little further south or move up to that like A8 position to be able to kind of get shots in.
Yeah, he is expecting to see some things come south and mid. He is looking very, very close to King Lou's position and Tolliver's. He knows that there's a potential that something is there.
Looks like we're now getting that rotation that we were talking about.
Yep, there's the push. The Waffle's going to push up. Join Bacon PD as coverage. Make sure that if they push him out, they're going to pay for it. And they will pay for it. Sneaper's going to be the first one going across.
Committing up to the north here.
Oh, 2 tracking shots coming out of the Valor and the Chieftain Mark 6. So Sneaper gets very lucky. Full hit points. Now it's Houndstooth's turn to peek up and see what he can get going. Sneaper is about to run into the IS-7. I'm sure he's aware, and that's why he's slowing down there.
Not just the IS-7, but the Waffle as well is kind of set up to be able to get some farm in on that position. It looks like he's kind of essentially waiting on a commit for him.
Which is smart. I like that. I like that he's playing it smart. M14 does go down. There is a push down here on the south.
Check out this position that Tolliver's in here, being able to get back shots on these 2 chieftains. That's a huge position.
Massive push coming into the south side. However, it looks like DEIFY is going to come out on top once they kill King Lou.
Uh-oh, Hesh probably doesn't have long for this world at this point.
VZ is still reloading. King Lou's gonna try to get out, but I don't believe he's gonna be able to. VZ is reloaded now. Should be able to put that final shot in any second now.
And then that Waffle just committed to be able to take out that CS63. He needs to be able to get this
big fire from the Waffle. Oh, that's huge. What a clip.
We got a new game now.
Second fire coming in. Looks like Houndstooth potentially has set the King on fire in the Chieftain Mark 6. And that was a nasty fire. Now the Valor and the Chieftain Mark 6 down really low. Huge hit point advantage for UXCAN, taking out Hesh.
We have a tied ball game now, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, this is looking kind of rough. But we do have Bacon PD coming in on Harley.
Will not be able to make it out of this one here.
Bacon PD choosing to rush into Tolliver, which does make sense. He is the lowest. They need to get these guns out of the game. Come on, one more hit on Tolliver, and it's all over for him. There he goes down. Now we have Bacon
Waffle
PD.
Is almost off reload to be able to help clean this up as well.
Good shots in the back of the Valor from the VZ. They have Bacon PD trying to do a 1v2 here with Houndstooth. He is delaying them a little bit. Unfortunate ammo rack coming out of Houndstooth there. So Bacon is going to...
There's going to be a very big clip from this Waffle here.
It is, and it's going to be an easy cleanup, I do believe, for him. The VZ is going to get another shot in the back of this Valor, potentially. VZ should be able to clean this up. And somehow, even though UXCAN did have the advantage in the beginning, the VZ is rotating back out quick enough to get those shots in the back of the Valor. It's actually leaning back into Defy's favor.
I don't know, man. That the time limit's the main thing that I'm looking at. But if there was more time on the board, a Grill T100 mix is just a scary thing to be playing into.
I think so, but I mean, on defense, really, you can just get yourself in a good position and just wait, right? Like it's
right.
You would need a good probably 5 to 7 minutes if you really wanted to poke around the base and bleed them out, but they just don't have that time.
That's a fully loaded Waffle as well.
Yeah, that Waffle's going to be a nasty one. Grill 15 about to run straight into the face of the VZ 55, and he has no idea until right now.
Are they going to kiss?
T100 looking to rotate around and try to get in on this VZ 55, but doesn't know a second one's coming. Little Skrilla about to be reloaded.
Oh, that's a big track.
Oh, it's massive. Looks like Little Skrilla may have loaded HE, which he did, and he pins it. Waffle's going to try to clean up the LT here, but isn't able to get a second shot in. Huge fire on the VZ from the Grill.
Looks like we're going to run out of time before we're able to finish everybody off.
That we are, unless he can get these last couple shots off from the Waffle, which he may be able to.
Oh, big track.
Oh, just not quite. But another wonderful game from Defy, which we love to see. All right, let's head on over to the scoreboard. On the side of Defy, we've got Red Rebel Leader in the Waffle E100, 2 kills, 4,227 damage. Itchy Richard in the VZ55, 2 kills, 2,840 damage. Bacon PD in the IS-7, 1 kill, 2,609 damage. Empire King in the Chieftain Mark 6, 0 kills, 1,212 damage. Lil Skrilla in the VZ55, 1 kill, 1,139 damage. M14 Pro in the CS63, 0 kills, 855 damage. And Hesh in the Valor, 0 kills, 790 damage.
Got Houndstooth in the IS-7 over on the UXCAN side, rounding out a cool 3,500 damage. Really good for an IS-7 in that game. Harlequin in the Valor with 2 kills and 1,800 damage. Lil Bear in the T100 LT with 1,800 damage. Tolliver in the Chieftain Mark 6 with a kill and 1,600 damage. Crazy Mage in the Grill 15 with 1,600 damage as well. King Lou in the Batchat 25 ton with a kill and 1,400 damage. And Sneepery and the CS63 being shut out.
Overall, really slow game. UXCAN did try to play it safe. They did run short on time, and I think that did kind of cost them. They played a little bit sloppy whenever they made the entry there, but not much you can do whenever you have 4 minutes on the clock and you've got all your heavies committed to one side.
Man, that could have been either way, though. I think that they made the right calls there. It's just if RNG's kind of played in their favor a little bit better, that could have went either way. But I really don't hate the play that either team really made towards the end of that game. Very slow, very proby. That's kind of the style that I've always enjoyed watching the most, is kind of probe for information, figure out what we want to do, and then be able to fully commit to whatever that idea is.
Yeah, I mean, we saw a good push from the UXCAN side, cleaning up a couple of Defy's tanks. However, Defy was able to rotate in that Waffle E100, and that Waffle E100 was quite the monster this game. He actually did make a big difference, immediately killing the CS63 when he made the push on the IS-7, coming back in to clean up the tanks from the heavy push. That Waffle was a big difference maker. He was able to get in there and turn the tides well before the VZ was able to rotate back. So huge clips coming out of him. Not a very bad pick. I am very hopeful that we're going to see Ghost Town. I really want to see Ghost Town. Played at least once in the few games that we're covering this week.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Ghost Town's always been such a weird map, man.
I know it's usually a tiebreaker map, but not in this case whenever they're playing it in rotation. I think home team will pick the tiebreaker map if it gets to that. But I am curious. Now UXCAN has seen what they're kind of about. They did make it pretty even that game. Now, can they take it a step further? Can they go from making it even to taking the win?
I mean, they might just be warming up, right? I mean, the first game of the day, you just got it done, working around the house. You get on Xbox, you got to knock the rust off a little bit. You got to get back in your groove.
Everybody's a little rusty for the first couple of games. If you don't hop in and play a couple pubs and really hate your life, are you prepared?
Or maybe you played too many pubs and then you forgot how to play the actual game.
And that is very true. Or maybe you only play competitive and this is the only experience with the game that you get, which is what I did for a long time. And I don't regret it. Looks like we are having...
Don't tell me that you didn't try and 3-mark your Kala Husinka.
No, I would never, and wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't think that's possible to 3-mark unless something radically has changed since I've last played.
I don't believe it is.
All right, what are we looking at here? Man, an M60 on sand driver defense. Is there anything more timing than that?
Good question. No.
The IS4 really makes me ask that question as well.
Yeah, this is looking like a different ball game now. Like we just traveled in time a little bit.
Promise I didn't send him anything on Discord.
Oh, the collusion is real. There you hear it. There is indeed collusion from Call of Halo. We can get this guy stricken from the record and put in jail.
Write that down. Ignore the 3-hour update I had to make before I logged on to this game, 2 weeks ago when we spectated our first round?
Yeah, you know what? Just a couple weeks before that, I was doing the same thing, so don't feel too bad. Looks like we've got the entire lineup selected from UXCAN side, who is taking a blast to the past approach, is playing a couple tanks that we don't usually see on Sand River too often nowadays. And Defy using those 2 CSs again, and the bad chat.
Man, they've really been a big fan of the double CS and bad chat approach. I don't know. I'd be curious to kind of figure out what they see in that versus the standard just double bat or something like that approach.
Yeah, I am curious why they choose not to go with the bad chats, but I can see the appeal of the single shot method. However, I will say that the single shot on that UXCAN push this first round on Sand River did not turn out too well. Didn't really have much of a chance, though. The Waffle did put him in a really tough position very quickly, and I think he set him on fire for quite a bit of damage as well. Not much you can do.
It's one of those things like wrestling with your uncle. I mean, you could only get so far. I mean, you gotta be able to set yourself up for success a little bit anyway.
We see another 2685 coming out. A lot of 2685s this game too. With the Stritzvon band, you're going to see a lot of that. People are just going to be trying to poke around with a couple other tanks. He looks like he has changed it to a Grill 15, which I think on this map I do like a little bit more.
The 268 isn't the tank that I see a lot of on this map as well.
All right, we're heading into round number 4. Second round on Sand River. If you want to go ahead and head down the UXCAN side.
Yes, sir. We got the Tolliver and the Chieftain Mark 6, Harlequin and the Super Chieftain, Houndstooth and the IS-7 along with Lil Bear, Sneepery and the IS-4, King Lou and the M60, and Crazy Mage and the Grill 15.
And on the side of Defy, we've got a Chieftain Mark 6, an MBTB, an IS-7, a Batchat 25T, 2 CS63s, and a Grill 15. Looks like we are seeing something fairly similar to what we saw whenever Defy was on defense. You've got the 2 heavies going to play south, probably in similar positions. Rest of the tanks going to be playing north. I think TD is going to be sitting in the exact same spot, which does make sense. Great spots to be in. Tolliver is choosing to play the Rocky Mound instead of the traditional little sand hill. Does get lit up, but does spot some good tanks.
Oh, that's a big information right there.
I do like that. That is big, big info. Ooh, Grill 15 just missing his shot on the M60. Just over. Would have been a nasty
Very curious
hit.
to see how this IS-4 is going to be playing down in that K0 area. I know, well, it doesn't look like he's going to fully commit to that K0.
Yeah, I don't believe he is. I believe they're going to play a little further back just in case they need to rotate quicker, which is why Houndstooth is actually choosing to play the D0 spot, which I don't hate. However, it does look like, I mean, all their mediums and their TD is committed to south, so they do need a little bit of coverage down there.
It's just hard to defend from that position that they got Sneeper in. If he was down there in that K0 position, they would already have, you know, a fight on their hands here.
Yeah, they're playing a little bit further back. I think they're aware that they're probably going to do something south side with all those mediums and maybe that TD. And they've seen the shots coming in towards Hill from over that side, so they know there's tanks there. Little Skrilla may be the first one to get lit, and he does. IS-4's got some information, but he's coming all the way in. Little Skrilla gonna try to contest this IS-4. I think he's gonna wait. They're gonna do a stack push.
Wow, look at where this Grill 15 is going to be playing on the side of Defy here. That is going to be quite an aggressive position. I mean, especially with y'all knowing that IS-4 right there. I mean, it really wouldn't take much for that tank to evaporate.
And Crazy Mage is not set up to shoot towards the south right now. He's looking towards the ABC line. But Sneepery's about to have a real bad day here in a couple seconds, and they decide to stack up and push him, which right now we have M14 coming around the backside.
It looks like they're getting that Grill 15 set up to be able to farm that 0 line as well.
Yep,
so
here comes the CS63 from the back. They're going to make the push any second.
Big bounce on Little Skrilla's part there.
Batchat 25T hits the base. They're aware that they're around now. Sneepery surrounded. 4 tanks, 2 on each side.
Really need to be able to hit their shots from Houndstooth and Crazy Mage here.
Grill 15 is in a position to shoot, but misses the shot on the Batchat 25T. That is going to cost. They have got no punish on these tanks, killing Sneepery right now. Houndstooth also missing his shot as well.
Does it look like they're about to stage actually to jump on that IS-7 in the north?
I think they are. Yeah, it looks like they may be getting a little aggressive with the heavy push, and they are going over right now. Gonna try to take Bacon out while they can, and I do like that move. They need this. Good fire on Bacon. Good fire on Bacon. Getting a little bit of punishment from the Chieftain and the MBTB, if I could say it.
CS63 being able to get shots in on Tolliver and that Chieftain Mark 6 continuously tracked in place.
Yeah, UXCAN in a real bad position. They are surrounded on every side. Tolliver going down. Next should be Harley Quinn, which we should see go down any second now. However, MBTB is shooting King Lou. Harley
That's
Quinn
3 tanks
is
on base now.
Harley
so
Quinn's completely
be a lot
stuck.
Of pressure.
Houndstooth is now all alone trying to get this base reset.
How long until they just go ahead and step on them? That is the real question.
It looks like it is coming. M14 getting hit pretty hard though.
Looks like they're sending that Grill to get backside shots possibly.
Yeah, Grill 15 is a pretty decent position.
He is lit though.
M14 down to a one-shot. Unfortunate bounce from the IS-7 there, I believe. Could have finished him out, but he... Ooh, another miss. That's going to cost. They need to get the CS out, and he goes down.
Oh,
Thanks to
and
Houndstooth.
CS goes down. That is a big kill.
We still have a significant HP advantage from DEIFY, and they do have pretty good positions. They have kind of locked UXCAN to this right side of the map. Not able to get any tanks to rotate and get side shots on the MBTB or Chieftain, for example. So now we're going to have to see what can UXCAN do in the next minute to get this base reset. Start getting punished on these tanks. Big hit from the Grill 15 on the Grill 15.
That is huge.
Good trade there over to the Grill 15. That is what you want to see. You want to get this TD out of the game as quick as possible. He is able to one-shot the IS-7, so if they can get him out, that chance goes away. He does get lit again. He may get punished one more time. No, Grill 15 choosing to shoot the MBTB, hitting him for a pretty good roll there.
This is just an ugly situation all over. That Chieftain Mark 6 is about to wreak havoc on Houndstooth here in a second.
Yes, he is. He's going to be lit right now. He's going to realize something's coming. Good shot from Houndstooth, though. Getting a decent hit in the MBTB there. East is going to push over to Houndstooth. Gets an unfortunate bounce. Houndstooth going to have to go for the reset, or at least contest the base. He does get the spot off. He gets the reset. Ooh, big hit on the Chieftain. That's what you like to see. Grill 15 putting in good work at the end here. I'm very surprised with how much he's been able to do.
Can the Chieftain go ahead and get finished off?
Ooh, unfortunate shot
like
over into Little Bear.
Going to be game at this point.
Yep, Grill 15. Good finish on the only saving grace they had left. Now we just have the Grill.
Did they shot there, or did he take fall damage?
I think he may have taken fall damage possibly, or I think maybe MBTB shot him.
Almost 1,100 damage in one shell. If
there it is.
Shot. Maybe the Grill was able to hit him with HE.
DEIFY taking it 4-0, going to end the game, shutting them out and not letting them get to Ghost Town. On the side of DEIFY, we've got Hesh in the Grill 15, 1 kill, 3,659 damage. We've got East Spice in the Chieftain Mark 6, 2 kills, 2,535 damage. Lil Skrilla in the CS63, 1 kill, 2,345 damage. Proximate Gull in the MBTB, 0 kills, 2,302 damage. Itchy Richard in the Batchat 25T, 1 kill, 1,563 damage. M14 Pro in the CS63, 1 kill, 922 damage. Bacon PD in the IS-7, 0 kills, 474 damage.
And then over on the UXCAN side, we have Houndstooth and the IS-7 with a kill and 2,500 damage. Crazy Mage in the 15 with 2,200 damage. King Lou in the M60 with a kill and 1,900 damage. Eloquent and the Valor with 1,300 damage. Lil Bear in the IS-7 with 1,000 damage. Tolliver in the Chieftain Mark 6 with 900 damage. And Sneepery being held out in the IS-4.
I will say, DEIFY this game, very dominant looking. Good map positioning, good awareness, good control. Very strong game from DEIFY. UXCAN was able to take it pretty close to the line there a couple of times, not quite able to get a round off. However, they did get them fairly close a couple of times, which you do like to see. I would have liked to see UXCAN play a little differently. It seems like they kind of stick to the same kind of strategy where they're going to play it slower and they're going to poke around, and it does cost them a little bit of time, which we see that can play against their favor as well, where they kind of have to commit to whatever they're last at. Except for the first round, which UXCAN did play more aggressive, but played right into the hands of DEIFY and M14 Pro in a good IS-7 position, stopping their push and causing them to get punished. So overall, I think DEIFY had some pretty good map positioning over UXCAN this game. And UXCAN did what they could, but just not quite able to get a round off, which we will see if that holds true in the next couple of games coming up, which I know we have a few more before things are finally finished out.
Yeah, I'd be really curious to see if that first game kind of rattled them from being aggressive, and that's why they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit.
It does kind of seem like that, yeah. After they made that push and they got stuck in that position and it was able to sit there until the team rotated in on them. It was really bad spot to be in. But not much they could do. I mean, all they could do is try to kill M14. If they couldn't do it, just go from there. But I didn't like the fact that they had split their push up. They had no coverage from the Grill 15. I don't believe they expected anyone to be in that position, at least not for long enough for it to cost. So a little bit of a surprise there for them. And
I mean, they did push into a counter strat essentially, though. I mean, maybe not intentionally whenever they were in the lobby, but I mean, you could kind of look at that comp and immediately that's going to salvage, right?
Yeah, you can pretty much see it. Yeah, I would think so by the lineup. But sometimes you do get surprised. Sometimes teams will purposely do that and do something completely different just for the fun of it. But overall, good games. Pretty close games there, a couple of them. DEIFY being a little bit dominant, taking the 4-0 win, shutting UXCAN down this game. I'm excited to see how they're going to play in the future. I know DEIFY has like I think close to a 50% win rate. They're usually like one off, one on. So, but this game very dominant, looking good for the last couple of games in the Calamity series. I'm excited to see how this team's going to grow and move forward from here.
Definitely.
All right. Well, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to shoot us off to the victory screen and going to close it out from here.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you to everyone who took the time to sit here and watch. Thank you to these two wonderful teams for playing. Really look forward to seeing them play a little bit more in the future. If you want to catch a couple more games covered by Valis Esports, make sure to follow, turn those notifications on. And if you want to participate in WCL or something similar, make sure to join the WCL Discord for a hub of all the community ran tournaments. As always, it was a pleasure. Thank you, Kaysen, for being here with me. And let's send it off to the victory screen.